Hey, what is going on, everyone? Well, I'm so glad you have took your time to spend with me right here today. I am your co-host for the MRB Wrestling Review Show, Mike Big Rock Wilson, and last night was WWE Monday Night Raw. The show kicked off last night with Daniel Bryan going one-on-one with Randy Orton, which ended in a double disqualification match, only to have that match later on as the main event. And what's interesting is now that Daniel Bryan, week by week, has always been $1 million in the ring, has finally started the show and ended the show, which I will get to later on. But that alone just really established Daniel Bryan as a top star in the WWE right now. So kudos to the WWE for Daniel Bryan giving him that opportunity, as well as Randy Orton and his character as well, which I'll also get to later on as this review comes to a close. Also last night on Monday Night Raw, Sheamus and Christian defeated Team Rhodes Scholars. Interesting. I noticed that Damien Sandow kind of hugged Cody, just before the match started. And, and all four of them were going at it in the ring. And the way Sheamus and Christian won was good because Sheamus pinned Cody Rhodes, which is kind of leading to what may happen with Team Rhodes Scholars in the weeks to come. I think somehow, someway, Damien Sandow is going to turn on Rhodes so that he can become more of his character and climb up the ladder as a heel, whereas Cody Rhodes can stay in that underrated line as a babyface, perhaps. That'd be cool to see, right? And as well as Christian coming back, which is also great. I think maybe at SummerSlam they could have some sort of rivalry form with Sheamus, so that Sheamus and Christian can go one-on-one maybe. That may happen. I don't know. Let's see what will happen. But before SummerSlam happens, Money in the Bank will happen, and I will also get to that later on. Also last night, Kaitlyn defeated Hoxana in a one-on-one match. And then shortly after, AJ Lee and Biggie Lacey came out and, were kind of mocking Kaitlyn, the bullying. And their WWE's all about the bullying campaign. So there's kind of a little of a gray area in that sense that WWE is against the bullying and is always promoting anti-bullying with ads, right? So, there's kind of a little of a gray area there, but kudos to Big E always carrying AJ Lee. But the entire segment, by the time that happened, wasn't really the best entertaining segment that happened within the Divas division. I think Kaitlyn could have used a bit more emotion throughout that segment. So hopefully now, next week after, something great happens within the Divas division. I'd love to see Stephanie McMahon actually become the general manager of the Divas division. And again, the power struggle. Stephanie McMahon, Triple H, and Vince, something needs to give. As well as Brad Maddox last night. I think Brad Maddox was really excellent. I think there will be a time where Brad Maddox will be the general manager of Monday Night Raw. And Vicky won't be. And so, but, you gotta have a Guerrero there in the WWE, so I like to see how that all play out. I love to see Brad Maddox as the general manager, because he's that annoying guy you can't stand, and you gotta have that character as a general manager. You just gotta, you just hate to love him, and he has to be that. Also last night, Chris Jericho defeated the World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio via disqualification. Man, what a tremendous match from Chris Jericho and Alberto Del Rio. Really interesting, right? Absolutely love it. And what was interesting was that Dolph Ziggler came out and attacked Ricardo. Not Ricardo. Attacked Del Rio when Chris Jericho had the walls on Ricardo from interfering. So hence the disqualification going to Chris Jericho, and then you see that little face-off with Chris Jericho and Dolph Ziggler, and then Dolph Ziggler got Jericho at the end, and it plays out the audience, which I like because who they want to cheer for? Do they want to cheer for Chris Jericho or Dolph Ziggler? Because right now they really don't like Alberto Del Rio last night. And there was a little gray area with Ricardo, but I think Ricardo cleared that up when he kind of mocked the audience when he came out to announce, Del Rio coming out. So, little things like that really get you over as a heel. So I think right now, it's clear. Ricardo, along with Del Rio, are, the heels right now. With Del Rio being the world champ, Dolph Ziggler gets his rematch at Money in the Bank. Absolutely love it. But with Chris Jericho, now he's being forced to work with Ryback. Oh, Ryback. What? Cry me a river. I mean, you actually had the guts to say cry me a river to Chris Jericho. And not only that, call it Chris Jericho Jr. Oh, Ryback. Keep pushing it. All you do is make excuses. You need to stop making excuses. Stop talking. Be that dominant guy you are in the ring and have a manager speak for you. Paul Heyman or someone, please. So, with that said, moving on. Also last night, after, it was all after Ryback defeating the Great Khali, of course. Ryback lifting the Great Khali up. That was an interesting moment. But overall, working with Jericho, I don't know. Also last night, both John Cena and Mark Henry addressed the WWE Universe. Now, after Mark Henry pulled that hoax, the audience wants to, tune in to see why, you done what you did. His answer was alright, but I think John Cena got the one-upsmanship when it came to, cutting the promos last night because of what Mark Henry did last night. John Cena had, some really good answers to back up his promos, so I think John Cena got the one-upsman on the promos last night. However, I do like what's happening with John Cena and Mark Henry. I would love to see Mark Henry defeating John Cena at Money in the Bank and becoming the WWE Championship. I think that would just make everyone's day because, John Cena, I understand, the WWE wants to put him over for the summer, because the kids are off school. And, the kids love John Cena, but, I mean, come on. Let Mark Henry have the WWE Championship at least till SummerSlam for a month before he actually retires. So, just let him have it. Alright, moving on. Also last night, the Usos defeated Tons of Funk at 3MB to become number one contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The match was alright, okay? The Usos winning, I don't mind. The only thing that kinda was off about that is that I would rather see, a few weeks tournament to determine a number one contenders for the Tag Team Championships instead of a triple threat match to say, okay, we have your number one contenders. So I kind of felt a little rushed, but I can understand, they have to do things, too soon to draw viewers. So I think this does draw me because, the Usos are a legitimate team. They got a little bit of a reboot somehow, so I'm interested to see what's going to happen now with them and the Shield. I think right now, ever since CM Punk came back, the Shield just took a little, not much, but a little step down from what, has transpired or over the course of, a couple of weeks now with CM Punk. And speaking of CM Punk, he confronted Paul Heyman last night. He was talking about, how Paul Heyman got him in the business, mentioning John Laurinaitis, a few other names, Vince McMahon as well. And, CM Punk wanted Heyman to answer, if Brock Lesnar was there, did he act on his own, or did Paul Heyman get Brock Lesnar to attack CM Punk? I like that Paul Heyman said that he had nothing to do with it because, you know what? I believe him. And the reason why I believe him is because he was talking to his Paul Heyman guy, CM Punk. That's the only reason why I believe Paul Heyman. So I'm interested to see now, is this going to be an obvious plot moving forward? Or is there still going to be a twist in all this thing with Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, and Paul Heyman, this three pairing? And also last night, just after that segment, CM Punk defeated Darren Young. What I loved about that match was that Darren Young actually stepped up and actually had a good match with CM Punk last night. And so right now, some of the young guys are about time getting their dues in. So, with that being said, after that match, CM Punk winning, Titus O'Neil comes in, 2-on-1. What does Paul Heyman do? Get his other guy, Curtis Axel, to come out to even the odds. And now that CM Punk is getting over with the fans as a babyface right now. And with that said, he don't want any help. So I'm really, really interested to see where this is going to all lead. I don't know right now if they're going to, go about this CM Punk and Brock Lesnar thing right away, or if they're going to have this thing now with CM Punk and Curtis Axel first, and then CM Punk, Brock Lesnar second. So there's kind of a little there's a balance, but you don't know what the rivalry will be with CM Punk. Will it be with Axel first, or will it be with Lesnar? Only time will tell. Let's see what happens in the next few weeks on Monday Night Raw. And Daniel Bryan defeated Randy Orton in the main event, making Randy Orton tap out to the no-lock using the Singapore cane. Little things I like, taking the no disqualification to its advantage, which was a poll on WWE.com for the fans to vote. It was either going to be a street fight, and two other ones. I really can't remember now, but the street fight, got the most votes. Street fight to its advantage, using, some chairs, table, T-bone C-plex from Randy Orton. I like that Randy Orton was, the putting in some moves that we hardly see from Randy Orton. So with that said, the match was absolutely exciting in that sense. I thought Randy Orton last night actually looked good. And after Daniel Bryan won, getting over with the fans, you see Randy Orton kind of walk off right now. So it kind of leads the question, will Randy Orton turn heel? Eventually, maybe. Will it be before Money in the Bank or after Money in the Bank? I don't know. I could see something happening, with Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan at the Money in the Bank, which I will get to just before, I wrap up this review. And I like that Daniel Bryan last night looked like $1 million. Started the show, ended the show. He could do no wrong. As opposed to and as it goes to the Money in the Bank ladder match, there's only one made, and I was looking at WWE.com and it said the WWE Championship Money in the Bank ladder match. So that's kind of, made me think, okay, there's going to be a World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank ladder match, right? So, crap. Hang on. So that's kind of leading to, what may happen now at Money in the Bank. I think there will be a World Championship Money in the Bank ladder match. And I'll tell you right now who's in it. CM Punk, Rob Van Dam, Randy Orton, Kane, Daniel Bryan, Christian, and Sheamus are all in the Money in the Bank WWE Championship match. I think that all of these guys are established WWE superstars right now. But out of all of them, who needs that briefcase the most? Daniel Bryan. I think, in my opinion, Daniel Bryan needs that briefcase more than anyone that's in the Money in the Bank match that's been made on Monday Night Raw. And it seemed like that after that, Raw main event, right now, the chapter is closed. Daniel Bryan winning. He's not the weak link. So it's kind of left to say, okay, what's there to look forward to next week? There's no holding the question after the show went off the air. But at least there were some elements on Raw to make you think, okay, what's going to happen now with the CM Punk, Lesnar, and Heyman situation, and putting Curtis Axel in the mix. All these guys, Paul Heyman guys, along with Paul Heyman, you know what? Something's going to give. Guaranteed. There's going to be a twist in all this, and no matter what it is, I think eventually that CM Punk will have a match against Curtis Axel one-on-one sometime in the near future. And that was my review for Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host for the MRB Wrestling Review Show, Mike McRock Wilson. Get plenty of rest, and always do your best.